If you could go back on your life and talk to your younger self about how to be happier, healthier, and wealthier, what would you say? What advice would you give? Good afternoon, judges. My name is LeAnn Hillsman, and I'm from the Royal FCCLA chapter in Brookshire, Texas. Let's face it, whether we realize it or not, our health plays a major role in our happiness. Think about it. Overweight, unhappy. Thin and frail, unhappy. Chronic aches and pains, still unhappy. Today, I'm going to talk to you about nutrition and wellness as it relates to my peers. For the purpose of this project, I have selected 4 students from my high school and tracked their food intake and physical activity for 7 consecutive days. But before we go any further, allow me to provide you with a little background information on each of the 4 subjects. First up is Katie, a 17-year-old cattle exhibitor. She weighs approximately 238 pounds and has a history of unhealthy eating habits coupled with not enough physical activity. These are both contributing factors to her being overweight. Next, we have Melanie, a 17-year-old powerlifter. Melanie weighs approximately 107 pounds and has an inadequate protein intake for the intensity level of her powerlifting. Although she does weight training several days a week, she does not always meet the requirement for 60 minutes of physical activity every day. Third, we have Dustin, a 17-year-old cancer survivor. He was diagnosed with T-cell lymphoma in January of 2017 and underwent several rounds of chemotherapy and radiation, which caused him to lose muscle mass and most of his strength. Although he has been cancer-free since May of 2019, he is not consuming a nutritious, healthy, protein-rich diet to help rebuild his strength. Dustin is also lacking in the physical activity realm. Even though he is still weak, he should be doing light strength training every day. Last but not least is Toby, an 18-year-old bull rider. Toby has been bull riding for 2 years and has yet to consume a healthy diet with enough protein and enough calories per day to sustain his body for bull riding. According to my plate, Toby needs at least 2,800 calories per day, but is only consuming an average of 1,200. While he does bull ride several times a week, he does not always have the minimum of 60 minutes of physical activity every day. Now that we have an idea of what everyone's lifestyle is like, let's jump right in. After tracking the subjects for a week, I researched 3 key nutrition and wellness issues I identified within each of their eating and exercise habits. The 3 nutrition issues I found were an insufficient amount of fruits in their diets, not consuming a healthy breakfast, and the lack of 3 healthy, balanced meals every day. The key wellness issues I identified were an insufficient amount of physical activity every day, the absence of a personalized wellness plan, and lack of motivation for physical activity. Now, if you'll take a look at the nutrition and wellness tracking portion, you'll see everything that each of the 4 subjects consumed over the course of 7 days. I have included the calorie count for each food to provide you with a better idea of the nutritional content, or in most cases, the lack thereof. Following this, I have documented the physical activity of everyone and calculated approximately how many calories they burned each day. Orson Welles' doctor told him to stop having an intimate dinner for 4, unless there were 3 other people. Hilarious? Yes. Sad but true? Also yes. Our bodies were not made to hold as much food as we shovel into them. And at this point in life, you're old enough to have some control over what you eat. You're old enough to make better, conscious choices. I've outlined some suggestions for improving overall health and wellness for each of my 4 peers. A good first step for Katie would be to exercise portion control and increase her daily activity. My mom once told me that if we use smaller plates, it helps trick our brains into thinking that we've got more on our plate than we actually do. Melanie should no doubt cut out some of her sugar intake. She should also consider adding in extra protein to help support her powerlifting activities. In addition to diet modifications, some type of cardio exercise could be beneficial to Melanie's overall health and wellness. Dustin has always had a pretty unhealthy lifestyle. Lots of junk food with little to no exercise. Dustin would benefit from adding in fruits and vegetables, high-quality protein such as lean beef, seafood, or chicken, and some strength training. While Toby doesn't appear to eat much, he, like Dustin, typically makes poor food choices. He should incorporate a good, hearty breakfast with things such as lean sausage, stone ground oatmeal, and fresh berries or scrambled eggs. Another thing that Toby could do is take his lunch to school rather than rely on the school snack line to supply him with his dietary needs. He could also benefit from some strength training on the days when he is not bull riding. Part of this project was to create a 4-week nutrition and wellness plan for each of the participants. With Katie, I've introduced lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, such as berries, carrots, and spinach. There's so many ways to incorporate fresh foods into your daily routine. And for Katie, she can go about it by adding bananas to her whole grain cereal or adding chopped fresh veggies to her omelets. As we talked about earlier, Melanie's a powerlifter. Her protein intake is crucial to her performance. So we've added in proteins such as tuna and chicken and paired them with things such as sweet potatoes and brown rice. Dustin is perhaps the participant who is most in need of altering his way of eating. His health and wellness is vital to his fight to remain cancer-free. His meal plan has changed in big ways. With his new nutritional plan in place, he is now eating things like scrambled eggs, steamed broccoli, and grilled chicken. Toby has learned to up his calorie intake, but has replaced his usual empty calories with nutrient-rich foods. He now consumes close to 2,800 calories every day, with foods such as salmon, sweet potatoes, black beans, and pistachios. Toby has the highest daily allowance for calories out of the 4, so he has more leeway with variety. Let's take a look at how these 4 have increased their daily movement and calorie burning. In addition to weight training 4 days a week, Melanie is also incorporating walking, jogging, and the use of the stair stepper. These activities bring Melanie's calories burned to right around 2,000 per day. Katie has begun taking a brisk walk and adding in some jogging on alternate days. These 2 exercises, in addition to her daily cattle work, brings her average calories burned to right around 3,100 per day. Dustin has gone from having very limited daily exercise to incorporating weight training, brisk walking, and calisthenics. On average, he burns just over 2,100 calories each day. Bull riding is a vigorous activity. In order to keep his performance levels up to par, Toby has incorporated weight training and calisthenics. He burns roughly 3,100 calories per day. Now, if you'll take a look at the implementation and reflection page, I have outlined some potential ways to implement healthier habits into my school and community. Perhaps having fresh fruits, granola bars, and water available at the snack bar instead of chips and soda would be a step in the right direction. Additionally, I believe it would be beneficial to make nutrition and wellness classes mandatory for all high school students. It is crucial to provide them